All right, so we are studying. The last part, some part of the novel there in the third term, and a drama also in the third term, right? So in the third term, we are studying 4 poems, one extract from prose, there's a prose passage, and drama, and we are continuing the novel. And here onwards, it's for grade 11. So I'm not going to talk about these things now. Okay? So that is the syllabus. So that is for you to get an idea. Okay? Alright, so let's again go to where we were. Yes. So now you have an idea what you have to do and what you are going to learn in this subject. Right? So I think you have an idea. Okay. So let's go to the first part here. First, we are going to learn poetry. Okay, which is really interesting, and let's say it's the easiest. Okay, so the poems. So we are first learning about poetry. Okay, so what is poetry? Or in simple terms, poems. You are learning poems under poetry. Okay, so poetry is literary expression. Literary expression, something written and expressed. Okay, something written and expressed, in which words are used in a concentrated blend. Concentration. Concentration means, now the teachers always say, concentrate on this. අවධානයෙන්. You should have your attention. එතකොට මේ poems වල වචන පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන්නේ with a good attention to the words. වචන ගැන හොඳ අවධානයකින් තමයි මේ poems ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? And the sound and imagery. The sound and imagery. We can, once we are reading the things, we can imagine and we can create images in our mind. මනසේ pictures හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. To create an emotional response. Emotional. You know, feelings and emotions. අපේ හැඟීම් වලින් අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් response එක. Response. අපිට answer එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. So in poetry, the words are selected with intention. මොකක් හරි අරමුණක් ඇතුව තමයි මේ poem එකක් ලියන කෙනා ඒ වචන පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. And there are a lot of images we can create, and our emotions can give a response to it. Our emotions can answer this. Our feelings, hanging can answer it. Okay? And here the second point says, a complete poem is one where the emotion has found its thought. Emotion has found its thought. අපේ තියෙන හැඟීමෙන් සිතුවිල්ලක් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. And the thought has found the words. එතකොට මේ සිතුවිල්ල දාලා තියෙනවා හැඟීමක් නිසා සිතුවිල්ලක් එනවා. Emotion becomes a thought, and thought goes to words. That is the most difficult part in our lives, no? So what we feel, we can't express most of the times. Just think, when you are angry, you can't express it. But in literature, the anger also expressed in words. So it's interesting to learn about that. කොහොමද මේ තරහා යන එක වචනෙන් කියන්නේ කියලා? You will learn that as well. Right? How different people have put anger into words, how happiness into words, how love into words, how the sadness into words. Okay? So we are learning all these things. Okay. So then, so when we are studying a poem, right? And don't worry about writing these things, right? I forgot to tell that. Don't worry about getting notes or screenshots or anything. I'm going to send this to you, right? And as today is the first day, I'm not leaving you any time to write these things. And these things are not necessary to write actually. ලියන්න ඕන දේවල් මම කියනවා ලියාගන්න කියලා. අද පළවෙනි දවසේ නිසා මුකුත් ලියාගන්න දෙන්නේ ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එකක් කරනවා විතරයි. ඕකේ ඊට පස්සේ ටිකේ ලියන්න ඕනේව ලියන්න දෙනවා. අද ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක කරන මේවා එක මේ උගලන්ට එවනවා. Right? Presentation එක එවනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒක ගැන worry වෙන්න එපා. Just listen and after some time I'm going to ask some questions from you, then answer me, right? Let's have a discussion. නිකම් අහගෙන ඉන්න නෙවෙයි. මේ චුට්ටක් තාම කියලා දෙන්න නිසා තමයි ඔයාලට අහගෙන ඉන්න තියෙන්නේ. Otherwise we are going to talk. Not difficult, right? බය වෙන්න එපා. දන්නේ නැති දේවල් අහන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. So meaning of the poem. So when we are studying a poem, අපි poem එකක් ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අපි දැනගන්න ඕන meaning එක poem එක. Okay? Poem එකක meaning එක දැනගන්න ඕන. Alright? So once you're studying a poem, how do you find the meaning? Meaning lies in the facts that the writer wishes to convey. අපි meaning එක තේරුම කියලා poem එක ගන්නෙ මොනවද? මේ writer ලියලා තියෙන දේවල් මොනවද? writer කැමැත්තෙන් මේක ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay? අන්න ඒක තමයි අපි ගන්නෙ ඔළුවට. What is written here? What the writer has written here. Okay? And the next part is we are getting now first of all, when you are reading a poem, we get the meaning of it. Then prosaic ඔන්න අලුත් word එකක් ඉගෙන ගත්තා දැන්. ඔයාලා දන්න English වලින් තියෙනවා within brackets you can see the prosaic. The word prosaic means simple, unimaginative. නිකන් මොකද මේ හිතන්න දෙයක් ගැඹුරට හිතන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. Simply poem එකක් කියවුවම මොකද්ද තේරුම? Meaning overlaid මේක උඩින් එලලා තියෙනවා by feeling or tone. මොන අලුත් වචනයක් tone. Tone කියන්නේ attitude ආකල්පය. ආකල්ප සහ හැඟීම් වලින් හැඟීම් එලියට අරගෙන අපිට දීලා තියෙනවා තේරුමක්. Simple. It's really simple. A simple meaning. Right? And you can remember now when you are studying English, you sometimes have poems in your paper and in your textbook. මොකද කරන්නේ? දැන් textbook එකේ තියෙන poems නම් teacher explain කරනවා නේද? Teacher is explaining the everything in that difficult words කියලා දෙනවා. poem එකේ තේරුම කියලා දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර ලියන්න කියලා දෙන්නේ. So there also you get the meaning. The teacher tells the meaning, and sometimes some imaginative facts also. Teacher සමහරලාට කියනවා මේක මෙහෙම එකක් කියන කියලා කියනවා. So there are when there are things in the book, right? But when you get a poem in your paper, you read it and you understand it alone. Teacher නෑකට තනියම කියවලා ඒක තේරුම් අරගෙන උත්තර ලියනවා. හැබැයි සමහර වෙලාවට ටීචර්ම කියලා තියෙනවා paper එකේ එන poems මුලින් ඉඳලා අගට ඔක්කොම වචනවල තේරුම දැනගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. You don't need to, when you're answering a poem in your paper, you don't need to know all the meanings of the words, the difficult words. ඔක්කොම වචනවල තේරුම් දැනගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ටිකක් දැනගත්තම ඇති questions මුලින් කියවන්න. ඊට පස්සේ poem එක කියවන්න නේද? ඊට පස්සේ poem එක කියවන්න. එතකොට උත්තරේ හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම teacher කියනවා. Right? The teacher says, first read the questions, then You go to the poem, then you can find the answer. You don't need to know all the meanings of all the words. That is English. Okay? So don't mix it up. Right? English වලදී කරන විදිහ. And you can continue this up to O level. O level වෙනකම්ම ඒ ක්‍රමය කරන්න පුළුවන් English paper එකට answers ලියන්න. Okay? So that is the difference between literature. So literature කරන ළමයි English හොඳට පුළුවන්. Right? They can use the language well, very well. Okay? So those who are doing literature have lot of words there. Right? So එතකොට අපි මේ literature වලදී ඉගෙන ගන්න poems අර ප්‍රශ්න ටික කියවලා උත්තර ලියන්න පුළුවන් ඒව නෙමෙයි. ප්‍රශ්න ටික මුලින් කියවලා ඊට පස්සේ පොඩ්ඩක් ප්‍රශ්නෙට ළඟින් යන වචනයක් දැක්කම ඒකෙන් උත්තරේ ලියන්න බෑ. Right? We are writing something more. So first of all, when we are learning poems, we should know the simple meaning of the poem, and we should know the meanings of all the words there. Right? All the words there, we have to know the meaning and we have to get the simple meaning. නිකම්ම මේ ලියලා තියෙන poem එකේ දන්නේ නැති වචන මොනවද කියලා හොයාගෙන අපි තේරුමක් හදාගන්න. The first thing we are doing is that. Right? So that is completely enough for you to write answers in the English paper. Text එක කියවලා පොඩි තේරුමක් දැනගත්තම ඒකේ answers ලියන්න පුළුවන්. But this is not like that. අපි first step එක විදියට තමයි literature වලදී ඒක කරන්නේ. We are reading the text and getting an answer, getting a simple meaning. Okay? So the third part here, it says, writer may have some conscious intention. Conscious man කලිනුත් කිව්වා. You have some, you're not going here and there. Your mind is not going here and there, but it is like purposely used. අරමුණක් ඇතුව තමයි use කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Goal. අරමුණක් තියෙනවා. Desire. මොකක් හරි හේතුවක් තියෙනවා. Poet කෙනෙක්. Poet, you know. Right? Someone who writes the poem. එතකොට මේ poem එක ලියන කෙනාට මොකක් හරි අරමුණක් තියෙනවා. ඇයි මම මේක ලියන්නේ? මම මොනවද මෙයාට දෙන්න ඕන? To the readers, what should I give them? Okay? That is there. So I think you got the meaning of the poem in literature is not the meaning of the poem that you study in English. English වලදී ගන්නවා වගේ meaning එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි. We learn all the words and get the meaning. Okay? Right. Moving on. On the තියෙනවා poem. So that's why I told you. Now this is the time for you to work on. Okay? Right. So I told you we are going to find the meaning of a poem. Okay? We are going to find the meaning of a poem. So I'm going to tell you all the typical words here for you. Okay? Now let's see. Bats. Bats කියන්නේ කාටද? Who knows? Bats. Is it the bats that you are using in the cricket? The game of cricket? Yes, you are using bats there as well. But this is about the animal bat. Vaula. Okay? The animal bat. Vaula. Okay? Right. So I'm going to tell you the meaning of this. After that, you are going to tell something to me about the meaning. Okay. Right. Bats. Here. Creatures that hang themselves up like an old rag to sleep and disgustingly upside down. So what is that? Creatures, animals that hang. එල්ලිලා ඉන්නවලු එයාලා like old rags. පරණ රෙදි වගේ පරණ රෙදි කෑලි එමේ එල්ලලා තියෙන්නේ. It's not nice to see, right? පරණ රෙදි හැමතැනම එල්ලලා තියෙන එක. So අනේ වගේ පරණ රෙදි එල්ලලා තියනවා වගේ එල්ලිලා ඉන්නවලු මේ සත්තු ජාතිය to sleep නිදාගන්න. නිදාගන්න යාලා එල්ලිලා ඉන්නේ නිකන් පරණ රෙදි. So you can now visualize. මවා ගන්න පුළුවන් නේද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ එල්ලිලා ඉන්නවා දැකලා තියෙනවා. You have seen how bats are hanging. Okay? So now you can, we say visualize. You can imagine the picture of that. And disgustingly upside down. Disgusting. Oh, it's really disgusting. It's ugly to see. Appealing, disgusting. Okay? To disgusting upside down. What do you mean upside down? උඩයට මාරු වෙලා ඉන්න. Okay? උඩයට මාරු වෙලා. It's upside down. Like your legs are up and head down. Again says hanging upside down like rows of disgusting old rags. Rows, එළියට. හරිම අප්පිරිය, very ugly old rags. Rags කියන්නේ කඩමාළු වෙච්ච. Not like the clothes that are really beautiful and all. There are things like that also, no. But the metal rags කියන්නේ it's like teared up, dirtied up and everything, right? And it's old even. And disgusting old rags. And grinning in their sleep. Grinning. විරික්තනවා. හරියට නිකන් අර අපි hina වෙන්නේ නිකන් ඕනවට hina වෙන්නේ. Not like you really want to laugh, but you're just laughing as you want to laugh. And to show someone, sometimes you do this, you don't like several people. සමහර මිනිස්සුන්ට කැමති නැහැ. But you can't show that you don't like them. Especially some teachers, you do this. So you just laugh at them, smile at them. You know, right? You have done it. Okay. And grinning in their sleep. Bats. Okay? Bats. In China, the bat is a symbol of happiness. Symbol can සංකේතයක්. Taken as an emblem. It's like someone to be noticed. Symbol of happiness. Not for me, but it's not for me. For China people, for Chinese people, that is a symbol of happiness. But for me, it's disgusting, right? It's ugly. It's not nice to see. Okay? Right. So I think now you got the meaning of this poem. Right? You can tell the meaning of this poem in 2 lines. What can you say? You can start like this, children. Right? I will tell you how can you write the meaning. Okay, I will just write it here for you to get an idea, just to get an idea. Okay? All right. I will say now the poet's name is given. D.H. Lawrence. D.H. Lawrence is the poet. So I would say, as I understood, මං තේරුම් ගත්තා මේ poem එකේ තියෙන්නේ bats ලා ගැන තමයි කියන්නේ. Poet කියනවා එයාලා නිකන් පරණ රෙදි කඩමාළු වගේ හරිම කැත විදියට එල්ලිලා ඉන්නවා නිදාගන්න. ඒකට එයාලා නිකන් විරිත්තනවා වගේ පේනවා. එතකොට එයා මට නම් එයා පිරිය සතයි. හැබැයි චයිනා වල එයා happiness, symbol of happiness. Okay. The meaning of the poem මට ඕගලන්ගේ වචනයෙන් කියන්න කියලා කිව්වා. If I ask you to uh, tell the meaning of this poem in your own words, this is a very simple task. You can say like this. The poet talks about bats and he says it is ugly to see how bats are sleeping upside down. That's all. That is the meaning. That is the meaning. You can see the meaning there. What the poet is telling, right? The poet talks about bats. And he says, it is ugly to see how bats are sleeping upside down. The whole meaning is there. That is the simple meaning. You don't need to think of anything else. The poet කියන දේම විතරයි meaning එක කියන්නේ. Okay? That is the first step of how we are understanding a poem. ඒක තමයි අපි poem එක ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට කරන මුල්ම. Okay? We are going to see the simple meaning of the poem. Alright? So I think you got it. As I want to do something more, right? There are some other activities for you to do. I'm not giving chance for you to direct your own meaning here. You have some more activities here to do, right? So, yes. So I think you got an idea about this. Are you clear of what meaning is? What a meaning of a poem is? Yes or no? Did you understand what is a meaning of a poem and how you get the meaning of a poem? Just send me your answers to the chat, please. Yes or no? Just yes or no? Okay, right. Well, right. So we are going to learn something new and it is really important for you when you are studying literature. Okay? This is really important for you when you are studying literature. Tone, right? Tone. And you have to get the idea of this to go to the next part of what we are studying. Okay? Tone. Tone is the poet's or author's attitude towards the subject of the poem. Subject මාතෘකාව නේද? දැන් මාතෘකාවක් හැම poem එකෙම නැති වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. So මෙතන subject එක කියන්නේ පුතේ දැන් අපි හිතමු poet කෙනෙක් ලියනවා එයාගේ මාතෘකාව එයාගේ ඔළුවේ තියෙන මාතෘකාව තමයි nature පරිසරය ගැන. Okay? එතකොට අපි මේ tone එක කියලා කියන්නේ authorගේ ආකල්පය. දැන් මේක ලියන මේ poem එක ලියන writer or the poet's attitude towards this subject nature. එයාගේ ආකල්පය මොකද්ද මේ subject එක ගැන. Now just think of this. Now if you are asked to write about your class teacher, right? This is like this. You are asked to write about your class teacher. So if you have a good attitude towards your class teacher, teacher ගැන තියෙන හොඳ ආකල්පයක් නම් teacher හොඳයි. Teacher, she is very kind. very helpful to us. ඒ වගේ ආකල්පයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඔයා ලියන්නේ කොහොමද? You have very happy thoughts with you. Right? එතකොට ලියන්නේ හැමදේම positive, ධනාත්මක දේවල්. But if you don't like your teacher at all, but you have to write about him or her, but ලියන්න ඕනේ එයා ගැන. So then you will have some kind of aggressive, what is aggressive? Angry, avegashili, aggressive, angry, and like you have negative feeling, not positive, negative. ඔක්කොම තියෙන්නේ ඍණාත්මක ආකාර. Right? So whatever the writer is writing has kind of an attitude towards. The thing is, now in literature, we are going to find that. අපි හොයන්නේ යන්නේ මේ වෙන කෙනෙක් ලියපු වෙන එයාගේ ඔළුවේ තිබ්බ මාතෘකාවකට ලියපු මේ පොයම් එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන පොයම් එක ලියද්දි පොයට්ට තිබිලා තියෙන මොන වගේ ආකල්පයක්. දැන් මම කියනවා nature එක ගැන කියලා. So about nature, what type of an attitude that the poet has towards nature? මෙයාට මොන වගේ nature එක? Nature is really precious. We have to protect it. ඒ වගේ ආකල්පයක් තිබුණා නම් එයා කොහොමද ලියන්නේ? He will write about the positive thing. එතකොට අපි හොයන්නේ tone කියලා කියන්නේ පුතේ අපි හොයනවා මෙයාට මොන වගේ ආකල්පයක්ද මේ subject එක ගැන තියෙන්නේ. What type of an attitude that the poet has? කොහොමද හොයන්නේ? It's not given. The poet's tone is this. It's not given. We are finding out through the facts given, through the words he has used. Okay? And there are also several other things that we are going to learn later. Right? තව අපි බලනවා මේ poem එකේ තියෙන තව දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. Words ගැන බලනවා. බලලා තමයි අපි හොයාගන්නේ මෙයාගේ tone. Okay? So I think it's important and you have got the idea now. Poet මේ poem එක ලියද්දී යාට මොන වගේ අදහසක්ද මේ ලියන subject එක ගැන තිබුණේ. Okay? So there are different tones like this. Sympathetic, critical. Sympathetic means sad. Critical means something serious. Friendly, you know, friendly. Belligerent. So a new word. Warlike or aggressive. යුද්ධයක් වගේ යුද්ධයක් ගැන එහෙම ලියලා තියෙනවා. The tone is warlike, belligerent, respectful, and the word ironical, sarcastic, humorous, cynical, මේ ඔක්කොම නිකන් උපහාසාත්මක, හිනා වෙනසුණු, those things, right? Humble, නිහතමානී, self-assured, confident. You're confident in what you are telling. What are the ආත්මවිශ්වාසයක් තියෙනවා. The poet, we can see, we can feel it from the words he has used, right? Poem එක කියගෙන යද්දී අපිට පුළුවන් හිතන්න මෙයාට තිබිලා තියෙන මේ වගේ idea එක. Pedagogic means very academic. හරිම polite විදියට ලියලා තියෙනවා. Impersonal, lacking warmth, that means like no nice feelings there. නිකන් ඔහේ කිසිම හැඟීමක් නැතුව ලියලා වගේ ඒවා. That is impersonal. And didactic, that means educative, instructive. Okay? And there are some more. Romantic, if the poem is filled with love, that is romantic. Realistic, ඇත්ත දේවල් කියන. එයාගේ ඇත්තම සිදුවීමක් එහෙම කියලා කියනවනේ. That is very realistic. Optimistic. Optimistic means positive. Pessimistic means negative. Gloomy. Harima andurui. Okay? Like some dark feelings are there, dark attitudes are there. Okay? sorrowful, mournful, or sad. You know, sad. So all these things are the same. Serious, angry, cheerful or joyful, irritated. That means very painful, annoying. So there are so many, right? Not only these. You will have so many things there. And we are going to find them out from the poems. Okay, we are going to find what type of a tone. So the word tone is important. Okay. And then, so when we are studying a poem, so remember we are still talking about what to be considered when we are studying a poem. Poem එකක් study කරද්දී මොනවද අපි බලන්න ඕන දේ. So intention, අරමුණු. This is really important. The aim, purpose of the writer. Then අපි හොයන්න ඕන. We have to find out what is the aim, what is the purpose of this writer. So first, sense. Sense is the simple meaning, what the poet says. That is what we have interpreted so far. දැන් අපි මෙච්චරලා කතා කරේ කොහොමද poem එක කියන්නේ what the poet says. Poet මොකද කියන්නේ? And we have to focus our attention of the feeling, hanging, his attitude to what he is talking about. එයාට මොනවද කියන්නේ? එයා ලියන subject එක ගැන. එයා කතා කරන දේ ගැන. And his attitude to his listener is the tone. දැන් මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වනේ එයාට තිබුණේ මොන වගේ හැඟීමක්ද කියලා අපි තමයි හොයාගන්නේ. tone එකේදී වෙන්නේ ඒක. tone එකේදී වෙන්නේ the poet තිබුණු හැඟීම අපි හොයාගන්නවා. එතකොට poet අපිට දෙන්න ඕන වෙලා තියෙන එක තමයි එයා ඒක ලියන්නේ. So that's why we tell his attitude to his listener. Listener means the readers, we, learners. අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න එයාගේ poem එක කියවනවා. Alright? So that's it. His attitude to his listener. Okay. And meaning of the poem is created when all components are taken as a whole. මේ ඔක්කොම ටික එකතු වුණාම තමයි poem එකේ නියමම meaning එක කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අපි ගන්නවා simple meaning එක. එතකොට poet ගේ තියෙන attitude එක, ආකල්පය, එයා කතා කරන දේ ගැන. එතකොට poet එයාට මොනවද කියන්න ඕනේ අපිට. That is the tone. Okay? So we take all these things into our consideration to get the meaning of the poem. That's why I have told you this is not like understanding a poem in English. English වල poem එකක් තේරුම්ගෙන උත්තර ලියනවට වඩා මේක චුට්ටක් වෙනස්. We are finding something deeper. That's why I told you we are appreciating things, we are criticizing things, right? So that's there. Okay. So this is all about for you to get an idea. Okay? ඔයාලට idea එකක් ගන්න තමයි මේ කියන්නේ. poem එකක් ඉගෙන ගනිද්දී අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ඒකේ meaning එක surface meaning එක දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. මත පිටින් තියෙන meaning එක ඊට පස්සේ ඒකෙන් එන feelings ගැන. Simply that. And tone you have learned. Tones. There are several tones there. Alright. Here is a poem for you now. Okay, let's see. There is a poem. I'm sad today. Not as sad as if my mother had died. Not as sad as if I had only one day left to live. Not as sad as suicide, but sad, plain sad, sad because there is no sun in the sky. Sad because it's raining. sad because it's cool as usual. I'm not gonna explain you. මම explain කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. You have to find out the answers for these questions. I will give you a few minutes and I will ask what answers you have found. So I'm going to explain you the questions only, not the poem, the question. Who is the speaker of the poem? කවුද මේකේ කතා කරන්නේ? Right? You can guess. Right? You can guess who is the speaker. What are the facts conveyed? Facts කියන්නේ තොරතුරු. මොන තොරතුරුද දීලා තියෙන්නේ? And what has not happened to the speaker? What has not happened to the speaker? Speaker ට මොනවද වෙලා නැත්තේ? වෙලා නැති දේවල්. What kind of a day is it? What kind of a day is it? කොයි වගේ දවසක්ද මේ කතා කරන දවස? Have you felt sad for no reason at all? There's a question from you, for you, right? Have you felt sad for no reason at all? කිසිම හේතුවක් නැතුව දුක හිතිලා තියෙනවද? Can you put down your feelings about such a day? ඒ මොකක්ද කියලා නෙවෙයි අහන්නේ. කිසිම හේතුවක් නැතුව දුක හිතිච්ච දවස කවදාද කියලාවත් මොකක්වත් නෙමෙයි අහන්නේ. ඒ වෙලාවේ තිබ්බ feelings, ඒ වෙලාවේ ආපු හැඟීම් මොන වගේද? You are sad for no reason. Right? At that time, what feelings you got? Okay. So we'll give you a few minutes. Please find your answers. Just note down something. Right? Make questions ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Poem එක ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Don't write the questions. Don't write the poem. Just put number 1 and write down something I'm going to ask you. Right? මම අහන්න යන්නේ මේක දිහා බලාගෙන poem එක කියවන්න and just try to do something. This is different than your answering in your English paper. Let's see what's the difference after you're finding the answers. So I will give you 5 minutes. So do it quickly. And I think you have to join again, right? Okay, start now. Exactly after 5 minutes, I'm going to talk.